Swamiji's video is not working though, right?
Oh, no, it should be working. Right now it's not working.
Ah.
Right now it's not working. See if you go to setting and turn on the camera.
Okay. Jyoti says it's not working, but I can hear you, so I think it is working.
Yeah, but I don't see Swamiji on the video.
Yeah.
So go to the there has to be some
video settings.
Video setting, and in that turn on, enable the camera, the main camera.
I have to get my glasses. 1 second. It says integrated camera. What else is there? There's only
that is correct.
That's the only one, but but it's
you see a camera on the top or no?
Yeah, I see it. There's one. That red one is not blinking though. There's a white one that is blinking. I can see. That is on. The red one is not on.
Yeah. If not, what you can do is Raghavendraji, they ask him to bring his camera. He's got a camera on his thing.
Oh, Raghavendra ji is not there. Sri Krishna ji is there.
Okay, ask him if he knows where the big laptop is, where we use for Vedic chanting.
Logitech.
Library room. Arunaji can go there, check it.
Logitech.
Thought? Next to the bookstore, there is.
Okay, then we'll try next time. Okay. So
normally that's where he keeps it on that metal cabinet.
Or we can keep here and you can see them, though they can't see you.
Yeah.
Anama.
Why two things? They get confused, no?
Yeah. Okay. So we'll try it next time, Gajanji, because this is not.
Yeah, we can make it work. What we could do, see if Krishna or even Arunaji can go to that room next to this, and we'll try to get 2 minutes in and try it. If not, we'll give up.
He's looking.
He wants some. Can you repeat it?
What is it, Gajanji? There's a room, copier room, right?
Yeah.
A camera.
There is a cover on top of that. That's where Raghavendraji typically keeps the tripod with the camera on it.
Okay.
Yeah, just bring that tripod with the camera. So use that camera connected to USB on the side.
मौनव्याख्या प्रकटितपरब्रह्मतत्त्वं युवानं वरिशिष्टान्ते वसदृषिगणैः आवृतं ब्रह्मनिष्ठैः आचार्येन्द्रं करकलितचिन्मुद्रमानन्दरूपं स्वात्मारामं मुदितवदनं दक्षिणामूर्तिमीडे वटविटपि समीपे भूमिभागे निषन्नं सकलमुनिजनानां ज्ञानदातारमारात् त्रिभुवनगुरुमीशं दक्षिणामूर्तिदेवं जननमरणदुःखच्छेददक्षं नमामि चित्रं वडतरोर्मूले वृद्धा शिष्या गुरुर्युवा गुरोस्तु मौनं व्याख्यानं शिष्यास्तु छिन्नसंशयाः निधये सर्वविद्यानां विषजे भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः ॐ नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। स्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविधागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः।
Yes, I see the picture.
You can see Swamiji, right?
विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यं निजान्तर्गतम् पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोर्भूतं यथादिद्रया यः साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयम् तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये।
If I put it here, do you see? Oh, is that better? Bring it down.
प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्र्यचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यभिमहा योगीव सच्चेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। यस्यैव स्फुरणं सदात्मकमसत् कल्पार्थकं भासते साक्षात् तत्त्वमसीति वेदवचसा। जय श्री, put that box there.
No, he says to bring it down.
Then now bring it down. See?
Oh, leave it there.
Right.
Why is it not staying there?
Yeah, that's
Coming down automatically.
okay. Good.
Okay. Thank you, Gajanji.
द्वाराभ्युन्दते जानामीति तमेव भान्दमनुभात्येत समस्तं जगत् तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। देहं प्राणमपीन्द्रियाण्यपि चलां बुद्धिं च शून्यं विदुः स्त्रीबालान्धजटोपमास्त्वहमिति भ्रान्ता वृषंवादिनः याकतिविलासकल्पितमहा व्यामोहसंहारिणे तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। राहुग्रस्तदिवाकरेन्दुसदृशः मायासमाच्छादनात् सन्मात्रकरणोपसंहरणतो यो भूसुषुप्तः पुमान् प्रागप्स्वाप्समिति प्रबोधसमये प्रत्यप्यभिज्ञायते
Now it's off.
तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। आद्यादिष्वपि जाग्रतादिषु तथा सर्वास्वस्थास्वपि व्यावृत्तास्वनुवर्तमानमहमित्यन्तः स्फुरन्तं सदा स्वात्मानं प्रकटीकरोति भजतां यो मुद्रया भद्रया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं Sri Dakshinamurtaye Shvam Pashyati Karyakaranataya Suswami Sambandhataha Vishyacharyataya Tathaiva Pitraputradhyatmana Bhetataha Ne Jagrati Vayayesha Purushaha Maya Paribhramitaha Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namayidam Sri Dakshinamurtaye Kasya Nilo Nilombharamahar Natho Himamshu Puman Nithyat Nanyat Kinchana Vidyate Vimrshatam Yasmat Parasmat Vibho Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namayidam Sri Dakshinamurtaye Mattvamiti Sputi Kritamidam Yasmatvamuşmin stave Dhyanācha sankirtanād Syādishwaratvam sataham Gaudapadacharya is it recording? Oh. Gaudapadacharya wants to refute the theory of Sankhya. Especially the karma Dvaitavadin and the Sankhyavadin. So, Gaudapadacharya refuted the Sankhya theory of creation from verse number 11 to verse 13. And now from the 14th to 23rd verse, Gaudapadacharya is refuting the theory of creation held by all the Dvaitavadis and or Dvaita philosophers who believe in a real creation, who explain the creation with the help of karma theory. I am just revising it, okay? They say karma is the cause of shariram. Karma means punya papa phalam, or dharma adharma phalam is called shariram. They say karma is responsible for shariram and shariram is responsible for karma. In this way, creation continues. Now, Gaudapadacharya wants to refute this theory, and his theory is that there is no creation other than misconception. This is his conclusion, and therefore every other creation he refutes. Here, Gaudapadacharya suggests 6 possibilities, and each one of them he refutes and thus conclude and say There is no legitimate theory of creation. Okay. Number one, karma as the original cause of the creation. This is not possible because you cannot talk about karma without a preceding shariram. Because karma cannot accidentally come, nor it cannot be given by Bhagavan also. Therefore, karma cannot be the original cause. Number one point. Second point, body is the original cause. If you say, this is also not possible because you cannot think of a body without a preceding karma. Body cannot accidentally come. This is second possibility. Third one is both karma and shariram originating simultaneously. That is also not possible. If they originate simultaneously, they cannot be mutually cause and effect. You require some other cause other than karma and sharira. Therefore, the third possibility is also ruled out. So, mixture also not possible. Both together, karma and body together, that is also not possible. Karma and shariram being mutually cause and effect, cause produces the effect and the effect produces the cause. Why not we have this mutual arrangement? This is also not possible because cause exists in the previous period. The effect is always later. Later effect can never be the cause of the former one. That is the mutual, that is fourth point. Fifth point, karma, shariram, chain. Karma producing shariram, shariram producing next karma. Next karma producing next shariram. Why can't we have a karma sharira chain? Gaudavadacharya says this is also not going to work. Because if you talk about karma sharira chain, then the question is, which one will be the first link in the chain? Does it begin with karma or sharira? One cannot answer that. So this is the fifth point. The sixth point is, let us have a karma shariram chain which is beginningless. If I talk about a beginningless creation, or if I talk about a beginning, you will attack me. Therefore, I will say it is a beginningless karma shariram. Don't ask me which is the first one. In a beginningless chain, there is no first one. It is not a linear creation, it is a cycle creation. Now, when you talk about karma shariram chain, tell me, beginningless is the karma or shariram? So there are three things: karma, shariram, and chain, isn't it? Out of these three, which one is beginningless? Again, problem. You cannot talk about beginningless karma because karma always begin from the shariram. So too you cannot talk about beginningless shariram because shariram originate from karma. You cannot talk about beginningless chain also because there is no such thing as chain separate other than karma and shariram. A chain is a concept and it is not a substance. Like family is not a substance. The individual in the family is a substance. A collective group of members constitute family. The family is a concept. Therefore, other than the karma and shariram, there is no thing called chain. Now, second answer, let us assume that there is a beginningless chain. This is called abhyupetyavadaha. Let us assume there is a beginningless chain of karma and sharira. Then the question is, that beginningless creation has an end or not? Is this chain with end or without an end? We say, either way you are in trouble. What? If the karma shariram is beginningless and endless, also, then what is the problem? Then you are never going to get moksha. Karma sharira chain is beginningless and anantaha, endless. Then what is the problem? This is called anirmoksha prasanga. You don't get moksha. Then let us assume to avoid this problem, we should consider another solution. So these Purvachis. Let us assume that karma shariram has beginningless, but it comes to an end. That also we say, no? Ignorance has no beginning, ignorance ends, right? Then the problem is, when you say it ends, means once it ends, you gain moksha. Only when the chain ends, you get moksha. Means what? Means end of chain is the beginning of moksha. If liberation begins at a given time, then it will end also at a given time. Then your moksha become temporary. See the logical fallacy. Therefore, the sixth argument is ruled out. So, moksha is not something that is happening in a particular time and place. Moksha is not happening in a particular time and place. Then what is the answer? You are ever liberated. The rope was, is, will. Rope never became snake. The best example is rope snake only. There is no other example. I tell you that rope example is the greatest example. Never at any time snake. While looking at the snake, what are you looking? Rope. Compare that with the world. So Gaudapada's standpoint is what? There is nothing other than Brahman. Even I am looking at you only, Brahman only. Isn't it? Why? Because you are alive. Therefore, the sixth argument is ruled out. What is that? Karma, sharira, chain is beginningless and endless. Or you say it is beginningless but come to an end. If you say come to an end, then what happened? Your moksha is depending upon a particular event, isn't it? What is that event? Karmanasha. Only karmanasha takes place, you get moksha. This is a condition. Condition become limitation. If any limitation is imposed on infinite, then it's not infinite. Now that is the argument. By the theory of karma, liberation cannot be explained logically. Therefore, Gaudapada Acharya's conclusion is that there is no creation. Other than confusion, there is no creation for you. Therefore, talk about removing the confusion. Talk about there was Brahman, there is Brahman, and there will be Brahman. What is there is only Brahman, nothing else. Now, if this vision is there, what will be your life? Think about it. The whole economic problem, political problem, country problem, geographical problem, historical problem, religious problem, none of them will matter to you. Really, you start laughing at it, that is all. Then our individual problem also, how small it will become. Yeah. That's why, in Sankranti time, Telugulu good bole bolte na. What is Til? Til is so small, minute. Make your ego so small. Then what happened? What is there is only sweet. How beautiful it is. See, our culture is so wonderful. Every little thing they have conveyed the highest knowledge. Small things only. But the highest knowledge is given there, indirectly. Then come the last question. Gaudapada Acharya doesn't deal with it now, he dealt with it in the previous chapters. If you say that there is no creation at all, because creation cannot be logically explained, how come you yourself is talking about the creation, Tattva Bodha, etc.? Taittiriya Upanishad. Your teaching means Advaita philosophy. There is no creation at all because it cannot be proved logically. How come you talk about creation in Taittiriya Upanishad, Mundaka Upanishad, Kaivalya Upanishad? Then tasmat va etasmat atmana akasha sambodha akashat vayuhu vayoragnihi agnerapah abhya prithvi prithivya oshadaya oshadibhyo annam annat purushaha sava esha purusha annarasamaya. So all these passages are there. How come you talk about creation? In fact, you present a chart also about Panchikaranam. Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya Goshaha. How come you talk about a creation when you don't accept a creation? So this is a valid question, isn't it? Now Gaudapada Acharya answers that. See, our Shastra doesn't leave anything wanting, okay? Everything has an answer. Really speaking, we don't accept a creation at all. But we feel the student in the beginning is not prepared to absorb this teaching of no creation. If you teach Mandukya to a beginner, then no one will be there in the class. Already I am experienced. Already I am experiencing it. Is it not? That's why these people, the Sri Sri group and all that, after doing this, they have this, what is that? Eh? No, no, no. Kriya Yoga. What is that particular with that? Sudarshana Kriya for some time. They are advised to take Ashtavakra Gita. Now, Ashtavakra Gita you can understand only when you go through the basic text. See, at least Tattvabodha, Atmabodha, Viveka Chudamani, then a few Upanishads, then only after Mandukya only you will be able to appreciate Ashtavakra. Ashtavakra talks from the highest standpoint. He doesn't even accept these three worlds. So, he is Gaudabada's level. So, you suddenly start reading Ashtavakra. I mean, without proper preparation, proper foundation, Vedanta will be appreciated only when you have real foundation. Otherwise, it will be a problem all the time. I am seeing that in the Naishkarma Siddhi class also. Some people are not ready. So they have a problem understanding it. It's very difficult. They think it is an intellectual acrobatics. It's not intellectual acrobatics because intellect is the problem. That is the problem. Otherwise, we don't have this problem. So, intellect has to understand its limitation. How? By making the intellect understand it is impossible for me to decipher. So, that is why the arguments, etc., is given. So, it is not argument, it is analysis. It's called Mimamsa. Mimamsa gives you clarity in thinking. The clarity has to come. So, Vedanta is clarity. The vagueness should not be there. In dealing with even material world, you have to have clarity. Otherwise, you become emotional, then you don't know what to do. Then you start asking others also emotional. Then that person, what he can do? Two emotional people talking to each other, what happened? They will blame each other, that is all. Finally, no conclusion. Okay, so that is the summary of what we have said so far. So we were on the 19th verse. Huh? 19th, right? Ashaktirparitnyanam क्रमकोपोऽथवा पुनः एवं हि सर्वथा बुद्ध्यै अजातिपरिदीपिता. Now, in these verses, okay, 19th. If you say there is a creation, we will ask you a question. What is the Moola Karanam? If you give an answer, it is called Krama Kopaha. You will not be able to talk about the order of the cause and effect. In our day-to-day life also, these questions come. Whether the body is affected by the mind or mind is affected by the body. Is it not? Mind is stressed, body shows signs. When body is affected, mind gets affected. Now, in these verses, beginning from the 14th verse up to the 23rd verse, Gaudapadacharya is discussing the theory of creation propounded by the Dvaitavadins according to their philosophy. And they try to explain the creation with the help of theory of karma or law of karma. In Advaitam also, we accept the theory of karma only as a stepping stone. So this we have to be very clear. Otherwise you get confused, you see. Karma and creation only a stepping stone. We don't accept it as an ultimate reality, but only a temporary state. See, if you want to go to higher mathematics, what do? You start from low, isn't it? Counting. Now, counting, you use apple and oranges. Then when you go to the higher mathematics class, without apple and orange, I can't count. If you say, it will be a problem. Yeah, right, exactly. So, that is why we use the unique expression Adhyaropaha. Adhyaropa means superimposition. The very word Adhyaropa means temporary acceptance of creation. And once his mind is ready to accept the final teaching, we reject the very creation itself as mithya. So the word mithya is to be understood very clearly, okay? Otherwise, again a problem. Mithya means not unreality. No, it's not false. What is it? You cannot say sat. You cannot say asat. You cannot say existent. You cannot say non-existent. Sadasat vilakshanam. So something that is other than existent and non-existent. Why existent you cannot say? Because on enquiry it disappears. Why you cannot say asat? Because I see. Yeah. Drishtanashta svabhavatvad. So these terms are all should be very clear, then otherwise it will be very problem. So Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya, Brahman only Satyam Jagat Mithya, world is not there. Hey, what are you talking? World is there. So, when we negate the creation itself, we don't have to answer the question, what is the cause of creation? If a philosopher presents law of karma as an ultimate truth, we'll reject that philosophy also. The one who accepts the theory of karma as reality is called Dvaitavadinaha. And these Dvaitavadis, Gaudapadacharya elaborately refuted by suggesting 6 options, and each one he negated. And now, Gaudapadacharya says that the very fact that you are not able to take any one of these 6 options indicate that there is a fundamental fallacy in your system. Therefore, in the 19th verse, Gaudapadacharya said, Ashaktihi aparijnanam. Your inability to explain the creation very clearly reveals. Aparijnanam means the vagueness in your own system of philosophy. And how can you approach other people when you yourself not sure of your own system? And if you try to answer the question, then you face kramakopaha, mean confusion regarding the order. What order? Whether karma came first or shariram came first. You cannot also say everything is predetermined. Then another problem. So generally, when you don't have an answer, then suddenly they will say everything is predestined. Who predestined? Then we ask, who predetermined? You cannot say the Lord has predetermined. In all other religion, this is what they say. Lord has predetermined. God cannot program for everyone differently. He has got a big programmer there. Then can you say the world has done the planning? It cannot be accidental, predetermined by me, myself, by my own karma. And then how that karma came, again it's a problem. If it goes on, we will never be able to say which came first. Therefore, kramakopaha, confusion regarding the order. Therefore, no creation. Evam, in this manner, buddhehe, intelligent philosopher, viparita lakshanam, sarvadha, by all means. So intelligent philosopher is a taunting actually here. Means viparita lakshanam. Ajatihi, non-origination of srishti. This is our teaching. Pariti pita, revealed, brought to light. Okay. Then continuing. Bijangurakhyo drishtantaha sada sadhya samohisaha nahi sadhya samohetuhu siddho sadhyasya yujyate. Now, Dvaitavadins may give a suggestion. Even though we are unable to take any one of the 6 suggestions, We will try to explain the creation with an example. You want, for logic, you want example, right? We'll give you an example. Now what is that? Bija Ankurakhya Drishtantaha. The creation of the world has to be explained like the tree creation from the seed. Why can't you accept this example? Now Gaudapadacharya says seed tree example will not solve the problem. The same confusion is there in both cases. The creation of this world and the creation of tree. With regard to seed and tree, also the 6 option won't work. Same with karma and shariram. Therefore, to solve one problem, you are giving me another problem. Bijangurakhyaha drishtantaha. In the form of seed and sprout, this example sada sadhyasamaha. It is a confusing as the original confusion is with regard to karma shariram flow, cycle. Therefore, you cannot give a clean example. Sadhyasamaha means confusing example. As confusing as original hetuhu example. Na yujyate, it is not proper to give. Like looking for a word meaning in the dictionary. Isn't it? So there is a word called loquation. Loquation means what? Voluble. Means what? Garrulous. Means what? The meaning is talkative. So you went with one word you don't understand, one ignorance. Then you come out with another 3 words which you don't know. Purvapara parijnanam ajate paridipakam jayamanadhivai dharmat katham purvena grihyate. Gaudapadacharya says, whether you take the karma shariram case or whether you take seed and tree case, problem remains the same. Purva apara aparijnanam. Our ignorance regarding the order, our inability to find the order, whether seed came first and tree came first, we are unable to find. Or karma came first, shariram came first. As long as this confusion is there, we cannot say which is cause and which is effect. And without knowing the cause and effect theory, we cannot make a statement about the causation. So, this is a kind of summary what he has discussed. So, according to Vedanta, the very theory of causation is an expression of avidya. Vedanta believed the very talk of cause and effect is ignorance. You got the point? Why? You are analyzing something that is not there. That's why Vedanta says the cause effect. See, you are accepting by bringing a cause effect theory, the whole creation is real. When it is considered as mithya, which is not real, what is the point establishing the cause? So that is the point. It's very, very beautiful. That this point also Sureshwaracharya discusses in Nishkarma Siddhi. Considering the world is anatma is also avidya, he says. Anatma. It's not atma. Inert world. Suppose you say it is inert world, means inert is something that is there. So that is also avidya. Now, in this verse, Gaudapadacharya says, you cannot explain the origination of the creation. Not only that, really speaking, even within the creation, if you take any simple object in the creation, like pot, you cannot talk about its origination. Here to establish that, Gaudapadacharya suggests 6 options. Previously 6 options we have seen. Now he says, let us take a pot. If you talk about a birth of a pot, I will ask you 3 questions. Number 1, is a pot born out of the pot itself? Ghatat gataha jayate. Number 2, do you say that a pot is born out of cloth? Patat gataha jayate. Does a pot came out of a mixture of these 2? Gaudapadacharya says all the 3 options are not possible. Pot cannot be born by itself. So too, you cannot be born out of yourself. Pot is born of pot. Is that possible? Pot cannot be born out of cloth also. Then why can't you say that pot is born of pot and cloth? Cloth. Cloth. No. Clay is correct. That is not the point here. So here, then it will be what? Gatapata. Gadbad ho jayenge nahi. No such thing called gadbad object. Therefore, you cannot prove the creation of an object. Then how are you going to prove the creation of pot or universe? No. Pot can be born out of clay. In fact, that is what we say. Clay is the cause of the pot. Between pot and clay, there is a sambandha called karya karana sambandha. Now, this is, the question may come. This is the Purvapakshi, okay? Sometimes I tell Purvapaksha and Siddhanta in one breath, so sometimes you get confused. And in Brahma Sutra class, we always used to get confused. He is talking Purvapaksha or Siddhanta. Because both look same. So Huh?
In Gurudev's commentary, he says at the top of page 295, it says to this contention the glosser's answer. So is the glosser the Purvapakshi? No.
Glosser is Gaudapadacharya.
Why is he a glosser?
He is a Karika Karana. Karika is called glosser.
Swamiji, you said we cannot say that the prapancha is also anatma, right?
Hmm?
You said we can't say creation is anatma.
That anatma is also a concept,
No, but what happens to Drisha Viveka then?
We are not talking to this here. Don't bring that now. See, all these are all step by step, to come to the point where, point what? Ajadivada. Ajadivada is Gaudapadacharya's main stick. Okay? All these are stepping stones. First, our misunderstanding is what? I am the body. This I am the body misunderstanding is what? Because body is taken as real. This is avidya. That is what he says. Because body itself has no reality. It is mithya. Mind is also mithya. Buddhi is also mithya. Ahankara also mithya. This taking it as mithya is correct knowledge, but taking it as anatma is avidya.
Because this is also Brahman. Anatma is also Brahman, that is why.
That is ultimately. So taking chain as chain is the problem, avidya. Taking chain as gold is vidya. A mixture also not possible because opposite thing cannot be mixed up. Sat, asat are opposite in nature. Wait. Now, Shankaracharya raises this question. What is that? Gaudapadacharya doesn't even mention this. You can never talk about the origination of pot out of clay. I told you that Brihadaranya, there is a Gadabhashyam. There he writes all this. Because really speaking, there is no such thing called pot. Previously, what is there is clay. Now also what is there is clay only. But you have introduced a new word called pot. But remember, there is no substance called pot. We are not saying there is no pot, okay? What we are saying is there is no substance called pot. Even not an iota of substance have originated. Scientifically also, matter cannot be created or destroyed. Therefore, pot is a word and there is no substance called pot. And since there is no substance called pot, there is only one substance called clay, which has been given now two names. Before it was called clay, now it is called pot. But two words are there, no two substances. Namadvayam vastu ekam. When substance is one, how can you talk about karya karana sambandha? Talking about cause and effect. There is only one substance. So how can you talk about one is a cause, another is an effect? When vastu ekam, there will be confusion. So that's why we have done 21st, right? 22nd. Sato va parato vapi na kinchit vastu jayate sadasatvapi na kinchit vastu jayate Sato va parato kinchit vastu na jayate swataha. No object is born out of itself. Parataha, out of something else. That's why the pada word is used there, Born of pada. Parataha, that's the idea. Born something else. Or something like mixture. So the three options we have seen in the second line, other three options. When you talk about birth of a pot or a desk or anything, I will ask three questions. Is an existing thing born or a non-existing thing born or a mixture born? Sat jayate va, asat jayate va, sadasat jayate va. Sanskritam is better, right? Sat jayate va, asat jayate va, sadasat jayate va. Unfortunately, none of the three works. An existent thing originate is a logical fallacy. Something that is already there, why it has to come again? Non-existent thing originate, this sentence is grammatically wrong. Non-existent exist, if you say. Originates is the verb, but the subject is non-existence. If non-existence is a subject, it is as good as no subject. Without subject, how can you have a sentence? Even grammatically, it is not correct. Then number 3, a mixture also not possible because opposite thing cannot be mixed up. Sat and asat are opposite in nature. Mixing up both are not possible. Like light and darkness.
That's when we have ignorance, Swamiji. Konjam light, konjam dark.
See our scriptures talk about it. Even though darkness and light cannot coexist, but our eyes are able to see both. Isn't it? At one time, Shankaracharya gives an example. Yonder in a pitch dark night, a solitary lamp burning, you can see a halo of light around. But around that, you can see a pitch darkness also. Both you are able to see. Why? Have you thought about it? That light of light, eye of the eye, chachushat chachuhu, is beyond light and darkness. That's why we are able to see. Kenopanishad is very beautifully said that. Chachushat chachuhu. So, sat ne jayate, asat ne jayate, sadasat ne jayate. Thus, observing these 6 options, the conclusion is no creation at all. If you don't want to use all these 6 options, use the science method, the law of conservation. Matter can never be created. Then where is the question of creation? It is unscientific. Gaudavada Acharya concludes the Dvaitavada Khandanam, creation based on the theory of karma. We have refuted Sankhya Matam and Dvaita Matam. Now we are entering into another big discussion from verse 24. Oh, 23. No, 23 I am going to tell, but from 24 onwards only. Heturna jayate na dehe phalam chapi svabhavataha adirna vidyate yasya tasya hyadirna vidyate. This verse is also Dvaita Khandanam. This verse also Dvaita Khandanam with the final argument. When we say Shariram is born out of karma, then the question comes, karma originates from where? Body. Then karma, etc. Now to avoid this problem, Purvapakshi has some option. Now what is the option? Here also he gives 3 suggestions. Number 1, can we take that the Shariram is born out of beginningless karma? See, the Purvapakshi doesn't give up like that. Beginningless karma. Karma never came. It was there. It was there always, anadi. So, anadi karma, Shariram is born, number 1 point. Second, from anadi Shariram, karma is born. Third, both are born simultaneously. All the 3 options are also illogical. What Bhadacharya says, because anadehe hetuhu na jayate. From the beginningless body, you cannot talk about the creation of karma. Phalam cha api, phalam means shariram, api, also the body. Body cannot be born out of beginningless karma. Swabhavataha, both cannot be born together without a cause. The reason is, logically we find that every cause itself is an effect. beginningless cause is a logical impossibility, because our observation, we see that every cause has a beginning. We discussed this. Every cause is a beginning. Both cause together without any cause. Then after attaining moksha, there is no guarantee you remain there. Both came together, if you say, without any cause. Causeless cause. Then there is no guarantee you remain there. You can fall from your glory. Okay, we go to 24. Now, to 24 onwards, it is the. So far, we discussed about the Purvapakshis who believe in Vedas, Astikas, like Sankhya and Dvaitins, Vishishtadvaitins, and Purvamimamsi. They are all Astikas. Now here we have Yogacharya also. So they are all Astikas. They believe in Vedas. But now we are going to talk about, Gaudapadacharya is going to talk about the Nastikas. Nastika means non-believers of Vedas. Buddha Matam doesn't accept Vedas. Jaina Matam also doesn't accept Vedas. So that is what we are talking about now. So that is the topic he is opening up from 24th onwards. Pratnyapte sannimittatvam अन्यथा द्वयनाशतः संक्लेशस्योपलब्धेश्च परतन्त्रस्थिता तथा Now, in the previous portions, Gaudapadacharya had negated the Sankhya philosopher and the Dvaita philosopher because both of them accepted creation as real. and Gaudapada wanted to refute their theory. All these darshanams are system which were refuted by Gaudapada is called Astika Darshanani, those who accept Veda Pramanam. Now hereafter, Gaudapada wants to take up the Nastika Darshanani, a system of philosophy which does not accept Veda Pramanam. They believe only Pratyaksha Pramanam, or they accept reasoning or Anumana Pramanam, inference. But they don't accept Shastra, Vedas. They are called Nastika Darshanani. Totally there are 6 systems. One is Charvaka Matam, materialist. I told you last time the author is Brihaspati himself. Then Jaina Matam, Rishabhadeva is the origin. But then Vardhamana Mahavira is the one who propagated it. Therefore, they consider he is the first Tirthankara. But actually, our Rishabhadev in Bhagavatam, he is the one who started it. Jaina Matam, they say China means master of senses. Now, China. Chinaha. Gaudapada is not discussing here these 2 schools. Then comes these 4 matams, all of which come under Bauddha matam. They are all branches of Buddhism only. And Gaudapada here taking up Bauddha matam for analysis and refutation, verse 24 to 28. And to understand this portion, we should have some background about Buddhism. There are 4 branches of Buddhism. They are 1, Sautrantika Matam. Sautrantika Matam. That is number 1. Number 2, Vaibhashika Matam. I will explain to you one by one. Then third, Yogachara Matam. Fourth one is Madhyamika Matam. Chaturvitha Bauddha Darshanani. Let us see what are their views. Now, number 1, Sautrantika Matam. This one says that there is an external world different from the observer, the subject. And the external world is different from the observer. And that distinct external world is real. This real, distinct external world is proved by Pratyaksha Pramanam. Therefore, this philosophy is presented as Bhahyartha Pratyaksha Vadinaha. Outside world proved by direct perception. This is number 1. Number 2, Vaibhashika Matam. They also say there is an external world separate from the observer, the subject. And they also say external world is real. But they make a subtle difference. This real, external, distinct world is proved by inference, not by Pratyaksha Pramana. So they are called Bahyartha Anumana Vadinaha. Earlier one, Pratyaksha Vadinaha. This is Anumana Vadinaha. This is all the difference. Small difference. One accept Pratyaksha Pramanam, another accept Anumana Pramanam. Then third one is called Yogachara Mata. There is no independent real external world at all. Yogachara Matam is very similar to Vedanta. Okay. There is no independent real external world at all, separate from the subject. Like in the dream, there is no separate dream world different from the dreamer. Since he refutes a real and external world, this philosophy is called Bahyartha Abhava Vadinaha. They are also called Vijnana Vadinaha. Very close to Vedanta. But we'll tell you what is the problem. Fourth one is Madhyamika Matam. This is very similar to the third one. But this one also says there is no external world at all. Third one said there is no world separate from the subject. But they accept the subject, the observer, the third Buddhist. But the fourth one, he said there is no external world and there is no subject also. Therefore, he is called Sarvartha Abhava Vadinaha or Shunya Vadinaha. Now, the first two branches together is called Hinayana Bauddha Matam. The last two together is called Mahayana Bauddha Matam. This you must have heard. The first two branches together is called okay. Of these four branches, which one is closer to Advaitam? Vijnanavadins, third one. The one who says there is no external world independent of the subject ever exist. He says the external world is mithya. Therefore, he is our friend. He also said there is a subject which is real, and we also say that the subject is the only real. Now, Yogachara, this subject is the observer consciousness principle, Vijnana Swarupam. And we, the Vedanta, also say the observer is Chaitanyam. He says the observer alone is Satyam, and we also say the observer alone is Satyam. And that Satyam, observer is Chaitanyam. And we also say the same, that the observer is Chaitanyam. Then what is the difference? You are talking same Vedanta. Because of all the similarities, Gaudavadacharya find that Yogachara Bauddha is our friend. If all these things are the same, then what is the difference? Otherwise, he will become Vedantin or we will become Bauddha. In fact, someone said Gaudavadacharya was a Prachanna Bauddha. Thus, naturally the doubt will come, what is the difference between Bauddha Matam and Vedanta? We'll discuss this later, but I will give you a brief hint now. Your curiosity will be there. The main difference is that the consciousness is a temporary one, having a fleeting existence. This fleeting consciousness come and go as a glow. Therefore, for him, the subject is not a single eternal consciousness, but the subject is a flow of fleeting or temporary consciousness. They call big consciousness. Kshanika Vijnana Pravaha. Moment to moment consciousness. Whereas in Advaita we say there is no flow of momentary consciousness, but there is only one eternal consciousness. This is the difference, but for now we are only looking at the similarities. Thereafter he talk about the difference. Now Yogachara, to establish his matam, he has to refute the first two Bauddha matam. Because they are talking about a real created world. They are both Bhahyarthavadinaha. Yogacharya refutes both of them and say there is no external world different from consciousness. What Gaudapadacharya does is, he joins the Yogacharya Buddhism up to 27th verse. Gaudapadacharya joins Yogacharya, together they refute Sautrantika and Vaibhashika matams. And in 28th verse, he refutes Yogacharya matam. Together, first and second is called Hinayana matam. Have you read 24th verse? No. Huh? Pratnyapte sannibhatvatvam anyatha tvayanachataha. Now in the 24th verse, first he presents the Hinayana Buddhism. I am taking more time. Before refuting, he has to tell what he is going to refute. One is Bhahyartha Pratyakshavadi and another is Bhahyartha Anumanavadi. So from 25 to 27, Yogacharya Charamatam will come. Gaudapadacharya doesn't discuss Shunyavada here. So there is nothing to discuss. He is Shunyam. Shunyavada, Shankaracharya discusses, but not. Pratnyaptehe sanimittattvam. Every experience or knowledge that we get should have a corresponding external object. Because in the absence of external objects, you cannot have varieties of knowledge. Because in sleep, there is no external world, and therefore, I don't have varieties of cognition. We'll talk about it next class. I know you are tired. This is Bhahyarthavad. This is Purvaksha. This is not Siddhanta. Anyway, we'll talk about it. I will give you detail. Your mind has to be fresh. And you are tired now. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.